agree with you, that paragraph above, that's the real
So,
concern.
Here we go again. Yeah, really. Is this Barbara? Yeah.
Hi, Barbara. Hi. It's Colleen and council. We are close to starting, but wanted to make sure we had you on the line.
Okay.
Colleen and council, so Josie and the Pussycat.
Yeah, really. You full of it today, Patrick. Oh my gosh.
She's an observer.
Funny.
You got it.
But we'll know more after the first meeting.
She's the vice president. Diane, did you get to a session?
I did.
What did you hear about?
Both Deb and I were in hearing about sports psychology. It's very interesting. An old Westbury student.
Did they tell you winning is better than losing?
Well, it affects the team members' motivation, whether the team is winning or losing. That's what she kind of proved. And I guess a lot of athletes have like psychological consultants they work with. I didn't realize that. That's what this student was studying.
Golfers and tennis, like individual sports.
And team sport,
definitely.
they do, yeah.
I think we
Still
are.
is.
I think we're good to go.
Okay, we'll call to order the April 20, 2018 SUNY Oneonta College Council meeting. Welcome, everyone. Welcome, Barbara. Are you there?
I am here.
Great. Can you hear us okay?
Yes, I can.
All right. First of all, I'd like to introduce and welcome, for the benefit of the College Council members, the interim VP for Finance and Administration, Sue Clemens.
Hi,
She's the new Todd. Okay. Welcome. Is there a motion for the approval of the minutes of February 1st?
So moved.
A second? Thank you. Any additions, deletions, changes? Hearing none, all those in favor? Aye. Okay, is there a motion for the approval of the minutes of March 15th, 2018?
So moved.
A second?
Second?
Thank you. Additions, subtractions? Hearing none. All those in favor? Aye. Thank you. Okay. I will bifurcate my my report here a little bit, say a couple words. First, the budget conclusion was quite difficult in Albany this year. There were a lot of what I would call major policy initiatives advanced by the governor and others swirling in the budget that dropped out of the budget at the last week because they couldn't reach agreement on them and they didn't want to miss their deadline. So the budget ended up being sort of what the old budgets used to be, which were really just appropriations and not a whole lot of policy changes involved. I assume we'll hear from folks about how you guys think you did in the budget, so I'll leave that for the president. I'll just want to mention that the political atmosphere in Albany right now is quite charged and interesting, actually. The control of the state Senate is very much up in the air. There are 2 special elections next week, and depending on the outcome of those elections will determine which party has a 1-vote majority in the state Senate. Anybody that's ever tried to lead a deliberative body knows that a 1-vote majority is not easy to deal with. So, sort of regardless of how the elections go and which party, whether the Republicans keep the gavel or whether they lose it to the Democrats, it's going to be a very, very contentious and difficult time to pass anything between now and when they leave in June. So it makes my day job particularly difficult, but it also has ramifications for everybody around the table here. So at that, I will, that's sort of my brief Albany cheery news. I will, I'll stop and turn it over to the president.
Okay, thank you very much. First of all, I want to thank those of you who were able to attend the special meeting that we had on the naming of the Science Building. As you know, that was passed, it was approved by the Board of Trustees, and we had a great reception in New York City last week for my farewell tour, and Janet Corona was there, so we were able to thank her in person and give her some kudos, and that was very good. And the most exciting thing was she was talking to a few of her friends who have money and saying, "Game on!" So she was throwing down the gauntlet for others to come up with some big gifts, so that was really nice. Our chancellor was also at the reception. She gave some nice remarks. And I wanted to explain to you that she wasn't able to be with us today because she had an unexpected health issue. And that was potentially serious, but it has been resolved. She just couldn't travel. So, so that's why she wasn't with us today for our SUNY Undergraduate Research Conference. And instead, they had the interim provost make the remarks. My farewell tour is still ongoing. We have one more out-of-town stop, and that is on Long Island. And I haven't worn the t-shirt yet, but I have it in my office just as a fun reminder. It's up over 300,000. Where are we right now?
314,500.
Okay. So, and counting.
Counting.
So that's toward the scholarship for first-generation students. So I'm really pleased with that. And I want to thank those of you around this table who contributed to that scholarship, because I was really touched that you gave to that. Okay, so moving right along, the state budget. Well, it was just about what we expected it to be. That is how the state defines maintenance of effort. Means they're not going to cut us. So SUNY got the same amount it got last year. Nothing for collective bargaining, even though the UUP raises have yet to be determined, and the other unions got 2%. So that's going to be coming out of us. And the other little wrinkle, and Sue may have some of an update on this, but the critical maintenance money that we get, the capital money that we get every year, and that we were counting on to help build the public safety building, there was a addendum on it that said it's for existing buildings only, not new construction. So Did you hear anything further on that from the
No,
construction plan?
no, I haven't heard anything further, but I would share that over the next year, we're focusing on the design phase anyway, so we're not ready to really begin construction, so we're hoping that things are more favorable
Mhm.
this time next year, and maybe we'll get some extra help from them.
Good. So we're still going ahead with the plan, which is to empty out Alumni Hall so that that can be rehabilitated into the new School of Economics and Business home and also Institutional Advancement home. So things are starting to move, and a couple of offices are going to move into the library when the second floor of the library is completed. Council appointments. It's still, let's say the governor is not focused on making appointments. Would that be a fair statement? That would be a fair statement.
That would be.
So we have two people in there to be renewed, which is Diane and Dan. And then we have two new nominations in there. Diane Aronson, who is an alum and works for BOCES and is very active in the community, and Tony German, who is also an alum and is the head of the, I'm going to say, National Guard in New York State. Yes,
General.
General, Tony
General
German.
Anthony German.
And so, did we put something about them in the packet?
Yeah, there's
Okay.
a-
Yeah, so there's something
There's a
about,
one-pager.
a one-pager about all of that in your packet. We've started the search for the Vice President for Finance and Administration. And I want to explain the way that search is going to work. Paul Adamo is chairing the search committee. We've got the job description written. We intend to hire a search firm to help build a pool, get a more robust pool of applicants. Not to run the whole search, like in the presidential search, but just to build the pool. The timing is going to be so that the preliminary interviews will be completed before July 1st. But the final interviews, the interviews of the finalist campus visit will be delayed until July. Sorry, something just bagged me. So that Dr. Morris will be able to make the selection. So sorry.
May I add some detail to that
Sure
just for a
thing.
moment?
Go right ahead.
The campus interviews will take place between approximately July 12th and July 26th, so that Dr. Morris would be able to make an appointment with about a 4 to 5 week lead time, so the appointed Vice President for Finance and Administration will arrive about the week before the fall semester begins. And it's that, as President Klunsky just explained, that's intentional, so that the telephone interviews take place in June, more toward the end of June. So then the finalist candidates are invited to come to campus. Today I will be approving the final electronic version of the job description, and it'll be immediately next week placed out on about five different electronic search engines, which will go across the country through our Employment Opportunities Office. So this is truly going to be a very large national search, and we're using some new tools that our Employment Opportunities Office didn't have the last time we conducted a search like this. I'm going to be reaching out to Sue and asking her for a date when I can meet with Sue and the people who are reporting to Sue right now, so that I could bring them up to date and field the questions that they have, the people who report directly to the Vice President. And I'm going to try to incorporate those types of questions into our telephone interviews that we'll be conducting. And so the search committee is already recruited with President Klunsky's advice and a brainstorming she and I did. We have a larger, more diverse search committee than what is typical on the campus in this way. So faculty, staff, and a student representative in those ways. So I'm looking forward to a robust search with a very large, diverse pool of candidates.
Thank you, Paul. And just as an update, Colleen, on my behalf, attended the investiture or installation, whatever they called it, of President Javidon Rodriguez at UAlbany, which Todd also attended, and Colleen got to see his office. So he really is working there. In case you had any doubt about his whereabouts. We also had 2 searches in academic affairs. Jim, do you want to give us just a quick result?
Sure. Well, the search for the inaugural dean of School of Liberal Arts, the new school, was successful, and we were lucky to have hired Dr. Elizabeth Dunn as the next dean. She's been a dean for many years and brings a lot of experience. Unfortunately, the search for the dean of School of Sciences, we had to fail that search. The search committee and I could not come to agreement on a candidate to hire, so we're going to start that search again in the fall. But in the meantime, Dr. Tracy Allen, who has been interim dean of both School of Natural and Mathematical Sciences and Social Sciences, he has agreed to stay on as the interim dean of sciences until we complete the search.
I wanted to call your attention to a couple of things in your packet. First of all, I was very pleased to see that A+ Architects have our building as having pride of place in their new advertisement. And we're not only on the front page, but we're also in the middle. And just so you know who got the smaller pictures, they were Hudson Valley Community College, SUNY Collegeville, SUNY Delhi, the Sage Colleges, SUNY Plattsburgh, Union College, and Word of Life Bible Institute. So there. We're here. And they are a very good architectural firm.
Can I ask a question about the VP search?
Sure. Oh yeah, sure.
Is it common or uncommon to have someone outside of SUNY be appointed to that position? Is it critical to have in SUNY experience for that job? Or?
No. It's not critical, but it's very helpful. We didn't make it a condition because the vice presidents for finance and administration is a very competitive field. I was telling you at lunch that 4 or so other SUNYs are looking for that same title right now. And the other thing that I've observed through the nonprofit work that I do is that sometimes people can change sectors from between a nonprofit, an educational institution, a healthcare institution, and still carry over many of the same skills. So we're trying to cast as broad a net as possible, and I wouldn't be surprised that if there are people from SUNY in the pool, that they'll more than likely rise to the top, but it's not a requirement. Yeah. Sue, do you have any more insight into that?
No, not really. You know, SUNY is sort of its own animal, so having someone who's been familiar with the system, of course, is probably going to have an easier learning curve, but...
We've got our own jargon, for sure.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
I think it's important that they have the heart of the college in mind.
Yes.
Especially the financial person, because, excuse me, the provost is important too, but the financial person is highly important.
Thank you for that.
Yeah. I think they're the key drivers at the college. Sorry. I'm kind of serious, sorry, but they are the key drivers of the college, and if someone in the financial group kind of is not has the heart of the college, it kind of makes it very difficult.
So we also included in your packet some information on the 4 students who got the Chancellor's Awards this year. Very impressive group of students. And then that our criminal justice program just got a very nice rating. Sometimes we're not really familiar with the groups that are rating us, but if they think we're good, we're happy.
We are.
And also that we've had a Model UN now for about, I'm going to say 5 or 6 years. And they keep getting better and better, and this year won an honorable mention in their, they were representing the country of Malaysia. So it's very big challenge for these students because they have to learn all about the politics and economics and geography of another country to represent. So that was very fun. Finally, I want to just catch you up on my transition. President-elect Morris was here yesterday and today. She has had to leave, but she did a meet and greet yesterday. She had very short meetings with a few different constituent groups, and then she also went to dinner with the cabinet and the Student Association e-board last night. So that was very smooth. My last day is going to be June 22nd, which is our foundation board meeting. And there's going to be a reception on campus. My final, it's not really my farewell tour because it's not going to be coordinated by Paul's office and we're not going to show the video. But it will be just a fun reception open to campus and community on June 21st. I'm actually going to move out of the President's house sometime during the week of June 10th because there needs to be some work on that house. It's got like a 35-year-old carpet, stuff like that. So they're going to be doing some upgrades on the house, and Dr. Morris, I'm going to live in the guest house for a while, and then she's going to live in the guest house for a while they're finishing up there. So I think that's all, and I'd be happy to answer any questions that you have. I heard a sidebar here that Joe was asking some questions about, his usual questions about the fall class. Is that what you were up to, about enrollment? How are you doing? I know you do.
Kevin was filming.
Kevin, you want to fill everybody in just briefly?
Yeah, sure. We're just looking at the calendar. We're in that couple-week period right before May 1st when deposits should be for the fall. So we're all, kind of holding our breath. All the indications that we have seems to say that we're right on track for the enrollment targets that we set for the fall. And of course, those enrollment targets, there's some granularity to those things. We target certain numbers in certain categories and whatnot. And there's always some little changes there and whatnot. So the three variables, that we're watching very, very closely are the number of continuing and returning students that we think that we're going to have, and we're continuing to kind of monitor those things and do some outreach, or just begin to do some outreach to students who are enrolled this spring and we think should be enrolled next fall, but perhaps are not yet. We're right on track with where we think that we need to be there according to the numbers of registrations that we already have. We are trending just slightly behind where we were last year with regard to our new incoming students, but that is planned. So we are behind where we were last year, but intentionally. And then with our transfer students, we're slightly ahead of where we were last year, and that is always, the group of students where we do the fine tuning after May 1st, when we know we have a really solid idea of who's coming back. What our freshmen, our new student, I hesitate to say freshman because this is a little fun fact. Of all of our incoming students every year, for each of the last 5 years, somewhere between about 100 and 125 of all of our incoming new students that we sometimes call freshmen are actually sophomores coming out of high school with enough credits to be sophomores. And so that number is really consistent, has been over the last 5 years. So just fun fact there. And then, of course, some of the work that we're doing right now is typical. We're working on making sure that our EOP class, as well as our ACE class, the ACE program, which you've heard about before, institutionally funded program. We did get some SUNY performance investment funding this last year to double the size of that class. We're still talking small numbers, 45 in total for this year, so we're working on making sure that those numbers come in as well. As an interesting note on our EOP class is a little bit behind where it was last year. And a lot of that had, I think, to do with some of the budget wrangling at the state. I believe we have some new leadership within SUNY Central within the Office of, what's the SUNY Central, the Office of Opportunity Programs. And they sent some signals out to the EOP directors mid-year, basically saying, whoa, slow down. They were really just hedging in case the funding didn't show up. And so all of the SUNY, many of the EOP directors across the state slowed down on their working of their class, and so that's put us a little bit behind that group. We're working on catching up right now. But I finished off with, ask me in 2 weeks, and I'll let you know. So we'll be reporting back out, here in a couple of weeks after right after May 1st. But things are looking good.
What's our target number for freshman class?
Freshman class, 1340, and that includes both domestic students, non-resident students, out-of-state students, as well as international students.
Thank you. Any other questions for the president? Okay, we'll move on to item 4 on the agenda, the faculty center.
Okay, and then also I'd like to add to a little bit that we got word this week that we are being reaccredited through AACSB, which is a really important.
Pretty important, I would think.
Yeah, the School of Economics and Business really stepped up to the plate to make it happen. So
wow,
really proud of them, especially Wade Thomas, the dean. Anyway, so I'm going to take you a little bit of a tour, virtual tour through our new faculty center. It was established last spring after quite a few years of talking about it, and it actually appeared in the college strategic plan, the academic master plan. And the Senate finally came forward with a resolution, and it was virtually unanimous resolution that we needed to create this faculty center to facilitate faculty development in all areas. You may have heard of teaching development, faculty teaching development programs, and those are fairly common, but we wanted something that was going to work with the faculty on their teaching, their service, and their research, so across the board. It also would be an advocate for further growth of faculty development resources, and I think one of its more important attributes is that it is a primary resource for the new faculty and new department chairs. We have been lacking a little bit in that area up till now. The director...
Ever get your handbook yet?
What's that?
You know what I'm going to ask. You ever get your handbook for department chairs yet?
Oh, yeah. I can see it.
Oh, okay. I was curious. Very good job.
Patience.
Okay.
Dr. Shirsti Mansley-Briggs is the director of the Faculty Center. She was recruited from within, and she's a faculty member that's on release. She teaches one course a year, and she collaborates with Kathy Meeker in the Grants Development Office, mainly, Michelle Rogers-Estable, who is the director of the TLTC, Teaching, Learning, and Technology Center, Terrence Mitchell, our Chief Diversity Officer. In that case, we're in the process of recruiting a faculty associate. And that faculty associate, we used to have a faculty associate, and it reported to Terrence, the Chief Diversity Officer. It didn't work all that well, but now we're going to have that faculty associate who's going to be working mainly on diversity education issues, reporting into the faculty center. Allison Fugit, who's the director of the Student Learning Center, and there the collaboration is mainly on ADA compliance, because now the Student Learning Center includes our old accessibility resources area. And then finally, Chuck O'Brien in the Milne Library, and the collaboration there is mainly about resources. I forgot the name of it.
Just make up something.
Educational resources.
That's it, open educational resources. There you go, sorry.
More jargon.
Yes, so there's a broad collaboration point is a broad collaboration across the campus on faculty development. We have a lot of people involved. I'm going to take you, go into the website where we're going to see some things that, one of which Dan was pointing out before. we'll look at programs and services. What does the Faculty Center actually offer? One of the more important events is the orientation event for new faculty. That occurs before the semester begins. It's about a day and a half or so. But then there are also workshops and events throughout the academic year specifically for new faculty. They have the opportunity to have a mentor. They don't have to have one, but they have that opportunity as well. And right here, there's a form which a continuing faculty member can fill out if they wish to become a mentor. We have professional learning communities that are organized through the Faculty Center, and they're organized around a particular text. This year, the text was Small Teaching by James Lang, and that book is not about small teaching. I do small teaching. It's about small things that you can do that have a major impact on student learning outcomes. So that has been the book that they've been working on. There's been 4 or 5 learning communities. We have something called a writing grade-in, where faculty sit together and grade their courses. And of course, there are workshops that are held throughout the year. And the workshops are not just random workshops. They're based upon a theme, and that theme is established by an opening institute. Places where I've been before, we have the opening institute before the beginning of classes, but we can't do that here. We actually do it sometime in October. And so if I click here, you'll see that for this coming year, the theme is going to be compassion, contemplation, and care. And so the workshops that we have for next year are going to be around that theme. Oops, let me go back to that. Let's see. All right. And of course, great ideas meet up, but also it's important that, and this is a growing area of the Faculty Center right now, is individual kinds of appointments. This has grown slowly, but now that the center has gained momentum, we're getting a lot more of these kinds of requests that faculty are having. They see an area in their student evaluations, the SPI forms, where they're having some issues, and they want to see where they can get some help on those issues. Oh, by the way, I didn't mention that the Faculty Center actually has a physical presence too, and it's in the basement of Milne Library next to TLTC. And right now we're in the planning stages of a Faculty Center lounge, which will also be open for anyone else who wants to reserve the room. But it'll be where these kinds of gatherings that we've been talking about can take place on a regular basis. And that'll be in Fitzell. Okay, and of course there are new faculty resources that are posted up here, and again, you can sign up for a mentor. You don't have to have a mentor, but most of our new faculty, I would say probably 90% of our new faculty do request a mentor, and we have plenty to go around. The important things that a new faculty member needs to know are posted on this site. And something that's new at our orientation program, our faculty will get their sticker, their parking sticker, they'll get their ID badge, they'll get their keys. And it used to be that they had to run around all over the place to get those in separate places, and now it's organized in one place. So we've made our services for new faculty quite a bit more friendly, faculty friendly. And there are other things that are in here. They can order business cards, etc. Okay. There are, of course, resources for all faculty that are posted here. And I want to point out that the Faculty Center leads the discussion about how do we incorporate the Common Read into our classes. And I want to point out that I didn't do this. Shirsti must have been here. She dropped off copies of the Common Read for next year. It's a good read, by the way. It may draw out some emotions from you, but it is a good read, so I encourage you. But in any case, we've had trouble, obviously, integrating that. Well, not obviously, but we've had trouble integrating the Common Read into our classes, and the Faculty Center now Dr. Van Slyke they are taking care of that. They're showing people how they may be able to do that. Resources for department chairs. As I said, there is, this is a primary resource for our department chairs. There is an orientation session now that takes place for department chairs. Every year there's a one-day orientation, and then that's followed by workshops that happen throughout the semester. There is we call it a chair orientation guidebook, but it's the handbook that Dan was talking about before. We finally got that done. Okay, they've been working on it for many, many years. Here it is, and it has all the kinds of information that a chair wants to have at their fingertips. How do I do this? How do I do that? It's all very, very practical. Bylaws, for example. And we have a template for bylaws. Many of our departments have bylaws, but I'm not going to open that up. But many of them do not. And so we gave them a template to figure out what they need to do. And I'm going to open up one of these. These are all film sessions of the presenters for the different workshops for chairs. And you can see there are a wide variety of people who are involved in these things, including, look at that, the provost is there. What do you know about that? I'm going to open this one up here just to give you a little bit of a flavor. And I hope we got sound, maybe not. Let's go. Dr. Morgan-Zajac.
Hello, I'm very happy to be here. I have to say that I had planned on 5 people being here for 5 new department chairs, so I had to run and get more copies, but because I have case studies and a lot of the work around communication that we'll do today will be in relation to the 4 case studies, and they're short, so we can do them all together. We don't have to do any major breakouts and work groups and so forth. But I have a whole host of things I could say about being a department chair. I was the English department chair for 4.5 years, and actually I thought it was an extraordinary experience, and I definitely wish you that same experience. I stood on the shoulders of giants, literally. We had in English a number of very good chairs, and in the case of Gwen Crane, she had been the long-standing chair for
one of the things I want to point out here is that although this is designed for new department chairs, as Eileen said, more than just the new chairs come to these orientation sessions. In fact, Jim Everett, who is not a chair anymore, he was at this orientation session. Daniel Nason, who is not a new chair, was at this orientation session. So the chairs are definitely finding this kind of thing to be quite valuable. We have awards and different kinds of awards and funding opportunities that are available. You see the Open Educational Resources, OER. There's funding available through that program. There's funding available for applied learning. There's more than that than what we see up here. We're going to be posting some other awards that we have as well a little bit later. And then finally, there is a website that you can go to. You want to know what events that center on faculty development, what events are happening throughout the college. Not necessarily through the faculty center, but it may be through TLTC, it may be through the Grants Development Office, it may be through the Chief Diversity Officer's Office, et cetera, et cetera. They're all posted in one place for convenience for everybody. So you just go here, you want to know what's going on, there it is. Okay, so that's an update on the Faculty Center. We've come a long way just in 1 year. Dr. Van Slyke had been just amazing. She has taken this thing, and I really had no idea. I was initially against having an internal hire because I thought we really needed to go out and get somebody who had experience with this. Well, she had experience with development of teachers. Her field is teacher education, and she just embraced the ideas. We sat down for a couple of sessions, and I thought I was going to be guiding this, but no, she was guiding me. So that's great, and it's worked out really well. I'm happy to take any questions you may have.
Do new faculty get audio visual training? Stuff that we have?
Yes.
Is that part of the program?
Yes. Well, there's all kinds of things on ADA that we're doing right now. There's a big focus on that, universal design, trying to make everything accessible to everyone, basically.
What % of incoming faculty does this represent their first appointment?
It's a very high percentage. I don't know the number, but it's a very high percentage.
Any other questions? Thank you. Okay, we are on to agenda item number 5, the Human Ecology Gallery and Student Lounge naming. You guys received, I think, the background on this, and there is a item in your packet, so I won't go through all of what you have there, but I will entertain a motion to name this lounge for a particularly generous donor.
I'd like to make the motion, if I could. With gratitude, Professor Barbara Wagan, the SUNY Oneonta College Council moves to endorse President Nancy Knuski's approval and supports the naming of the Barbara Wagan Gallery and Student Lounge in the Human Ecology Building.
Is there a second? Thank you. Any discussion, questions?
Yeah, I just want to say that I knew Barbara quite well. I moved to Hazel Street the year that she retired in 1983. And she was a really good friend, and I shoveled her sidewalk. And every Christmas, she gave me the best fruitcake you can imagine. It was fantastic, and I'm sorry that I don't get the fruitcakes anymore. She's a wonderful person, and I'm really surprised at her generosity. It's great.
She gave every year too, Joe.
Did she really?
This was not a one-off gift. This was a continuation of what she had done during her lifetime. And there are photographs that I provided to Colleen that are also printed in your packet, so you could see what the fashion gallery looks like. And immediately adjacent to it, so if you came into the lobby, the room immediately on the left is the student lounge, and that's the next photograph. So in square feet, these are modest sized rooms, but for visibility, this is a major visibility of philanthropy at our college, where faculty, staff, and students forever into the future will see this visual presentation similar to the A.J. Reed Science Discovery Center presentation, where it would have the Professor Barbara Wigand gallery and student lounge, and then a further description about her that way. As Patrick said, the description provides the details of her gift of almost $600,000, and you can see that 80% of it will be for scholarships for students, and 20% provides support for the activities for the historic costume collection, for which Professor Wigand was passionate about and was extremely positioned to be in a leadership position in higher education about fashion and textiles, which helped to lead with the creation of the 3-1 program between SUNY Oneonta and the Fashion Institute of Technology.
What's the historic costume?
So, as best that I know of it, over the years, for many decades, students and faculty have a compilation of textiles and apparel that are just that are costumes that represent eras or iconic presentation of apparel. And so it's been preserved and it's brought out forward to the students for their use and presentation. Do you know more, Nancy?
I got a tour of that one time. There's a special room in the Human College building that is, it is climate controlled, and it's dark, it's kept in the dark, so there's no fading and so on. And it's like an archive. They have wedding dresses from different periods. They have costumes that were worn by Native Americans, by military personnel, all sorts of different genres of clothing. And so it's a kind of a living archive of dress, of various kinds of clothing.
How many majors do we have in the fashion?
Good question.
It sure is.
Hold please.
I'll let you know.
Well, while you're doing that, I said this at our last meeting, and it applies here. These kinds of gifts don't just happen. They have to be cultivated. So I congratulate Paul and President Klonowski for the size of this gift is really, really something. And, you know, well done.
And our team members who work with us too. And there'll be more in the future. We'll do this more often.
I didn't have anything to do with
You,
Ellen.
you were the executive when it happened.
That's true.
Come on.
Okay, I claim credit.
You are entitled to credit for all good things. That's a Trump thing. It's now part of the law.
Oh, passed away last fall, at the, toward the end of last fall.
Are we waiting on a number, or can I move on?
It'll be a minute, so.
All right, I will move on, and then you can interrupt us. Well, actually, we should vote. Shall we vote? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Hearing no opposition, it is moved. Okay, thank you, Joan. Diane, you're up. The
Briefly?
ACT report.
Yeah, not a lot, but that October 12th through 14th will be the date. Is that Columbus Day weekend, do you know? No.
Columbus Day weekend is 7th.
Okay, the weekend before. So that weekend, the 12th through 14th, will be the annual ACT conference, again held in Albany, but this year at the State University Plaza, which is that the old train station?
Yeah, the headquarters.
SUNY Center.
Yes.
Yeah, SUNY, okay. And we will probably have a meeting before that, so we have, but I think everyone gets emails too, so save the date. The request for submissions for our ACT scholarships have gone out, and Colleen has forwarded them to our Dean of Human
Education
and Human Ecology for student nominations. As you recall, last year our student got the first Nancy Zimfer scholarship, and so hopefully we'll have some candidate or a candidate this year for either that or our other scholarships. Anything else from ACT, Patrick, that you're aware of?
No, I don't think so. Okay,
That's it.
thank you. Okay, now we are in item number 7. I will call this the weepy portion of the meeting. As most of you know, I cry at the drop of a hat, usually at the national anthem, even when some pop star I don't know is butchering it. So this is going to be particularly difficult. for me, but I'm going to read a resolution to our president. Special resolution on the occasion of the retirement of the president. Whereas Dr. Nancy Klinuski has served as president of SUNY Oneonta from 2008 to the present, and whereas President Klinuski has guided the college through a collaborative strategic planning and budgeting process that focused the college mission on high-quality teaching and learning, inclusivity, student engagement, vibrant campus community partnerships, global connectedness, and sustainability. And whereas President Klinuski has elevated the importance of STEM-related programs, leading a regional collaboration of business and education leaders to that end, while securing $17 million for STEM initiatives and scholarships promoting applied learning. And whereas President Klinuski has advocated for equity, diversity, and inclusion, resulting in the college twice receiving the Higher Education Excellence in Diversity Award from Insight into Diversity magazine, and earning citation by the Education Trust as a national leader in improving graduation rates. And whereas President Klinuski has promoted access for low-income and first-generation students, nurturing their academic success, and whereas President Klinuski, whereas President Klinuski has worked tirelessly to secure funds from private and public through her advocacy efforts, building the largest endowment among the SUNY comprehensive colleges. And whereas President Klinuski has strengthened the campus infrastructure through a facilities master plan, resulting in over $200 million in construction and renovation projects that have made the campus more environmentally sustainable. And whereas under President Klinuski's leadership, the college has continually attracted and retained high-achieving students and enrolled the largest freshman class ever. And whereas President Klinuski's leadership has led SUNY Oneonta to gain unprecedented attention, with acknowledgement by U.S. News and World Report, Kiplinger's, Forbes, and Money Magazine as an outstanding campus for superior academic quality and affordability. And whereas President Klinuski leaves the college well positioned for future growth and success. Be it resolved, the College Council of the State University of New York, College at Oneonta, on behalf of the entire college community, expresses its heartfelt thanks and appreciation for her service and commitment. It also recognizes President Nancy Klinuski for her nearly 10 years of meritorious service and wishes her well in the next phase of her life's journey. Signed by me, this date. Congratulations.
Thank you, everyone. You know that you, my team members here, all are huge contributors. And the other thing is, I inherited an institution that was fundamentally sound and have worked very hard to keep moving in a positive direction. So, so as Kirsty said, I'm standing on the shoulders of giants too. So thank you. It's very nice.
You, when I give my little remarks at the commencement, I always say to the students, go make your mark. And you have certainly done that here. Congratulations on making it all the way through.
I always
no
said
easy feat.
I always said if it stopped being fun, I could leave anytime. So it's still fun, but I have to leave.
Do we need to make the resolution as a joint resolution?
Oh yeah, do you have to vote on it?
I suppose we can. Would you like to make a motion to?
I think we all should do it. Seconded.
Okay, let the record reflect. We all move in second. All those in favor? Aye. Well
Thank you,
done.
everybody,
Well done.
very much.
You have a number for us? Okay. The only thing that I have is to make sure everybody remembers commencement, May 12th. 3 shows. 3 shows daily and nightly, 9, 1, and 4. So you will be getting your instructions on where to go and when to get here and when to be robed, and Colleen, I'm sure, will whip us into shape,
Absolutely.
as is her wont. Anything else?
There's a little gift in a little red box in front of you. Hopefully it's the right size.
Box.
You can open it now.
Can we open?
Sure.
All right. Is it a Buick?
Wow, they're beautiful.
You can wear that when you're out walking your dog.
Really? Yeah, a lot of, we're very serious about that. Yeah.
What, you saving the paper, Dan?
Hey, you know?
Wow, I should. Like my wife on Christmas morning. Go rip the paper. You can use it next week.
That's right.
Yeah, boy, that was a mouthful.
That's I'll say.
That's a nice decade of work.
Al has taken up fiction writing.
Where's my book?
I have an extra.
Well, on the fly, yeah, data skills are not producing super poor results.
Where's my hat?
No? I don't know, that's not, there was one there.
It's okay.
I don't know, we've got one now. I've got it.
I have one at home.
Okay.
Anything else for the good of the order?
Oh, I don't know.
I will entertain a motion to adjourn. Nobody wants to
So
adjourn?
moved.
Thank you. Second?
Second.
Thank you, Dave. We are adjourned. For some of you, the beer light is on.
Must be rolling.
Thank you. Do you know where it is? No. I was hoping you would, I can text Colleen. It's been a good week.
It's on Market Street.
Oh, you know the name of it?
Yeah, it's right, it's down.
They quite enjoy it.
We didn't say bye to
LLA.
I said hello to this guy. It's so bad. You elbow me in my ribs.
It's right downtown.
I really had a lot of questions. What was the other thing?
I like the way they frame it. So you have one thing you have to take with you.
I can't remember what it is. Can't find it.
Yep.
Relationship thing or something. Conflict.
How about myself?
Oh, yeah.
I'm not like somebody who's anywhere.
Yes.
Yeah, I love Brooklyn.
But you know, that's another thing, like, which was the procedure for doesn't want their grades. But, you know, each department sometimes has a different.
Posters going on.
I mean, that's what the bylaws do. Criteria.
Yeah, we may have a committee of this.
Right.
Looks good.
You know more about it.
Okay. I like it.
Better insight into.
I'm not.
Tell you this, I got
Ooh.
you know, she's kind of.
It's complicated.
They didn't know where to go, so they just stopped in the middle of the road.
And
like me, which is,
You know,
I think we came out at 8:45, so we had done.
no, that's okay. I mean, it's just
Either failed. Yeah, that would have been, that would have been.
I gotta find out where this Stella.
I was in a class act hobby, so my class is performing.
I usually get stuff too.
I was over in Fitzell watching people go to those and things. They really enjoy the workshops.
Yeah, someone mentioned it.
Yeah, we missed you. I noticed you weren't here.
Well, and I got in my mind, I was thinking back over here for 3 o'clock.
Oh, I've done that
Here,
here.
I was
Have
like,
I done that before? I showed up, I was supposed to be at 3 o'clock meeting, and I showed up at
Meant to kind of gone on great ways.
because I thought it was
I
3:30.
had it online, it was supposed to be at 3 o'clock.
I don't know, I got a note or something, I wrote it.
I didn't notice till I looked at the agenda, I said, oh, that's why everybody was there already.
There we go.
Other young people told me I had to get some ice cream. I said, well,
That's part of the requirement.
they said, we bought one of these ice cream, it's free. I said, well, it's free.
Oh, I mean, ice cream, hell,
It's like that, it's a lot.
oh, perfect.
Yeah, you know, the budget passes.
I said, most people want to
I got
go.
direction to the place now, so I'm sure, now it's I'm supposed to be there. and I'll be
She doesn't know
all right.
anything about the state, and.
Thank goodness for these things.
Right now, we're talking about, I lost my phone charger, so now my wife doesn't know what I have.